Welcome back. Taking a full look at weather now. Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca. What's so crazy about the weather, Dan?
I was just musing to myself. Yesterday in Salinas, it was cloudy for most of the day. Today, it was sunny for most of the day during the daylight hours. The high temperature was the same both days.
That is crazy.
I know. It probably felt different, though. If you're in the sun, it feels warmer, right? If you're in the clouds, it doesn't feel as warm. But the air temperature didn't really change all that much despite the clouds. It's Drought Update Thursday, by the way. Here's a quick drought update. No change in the drought situation across the state this week. 1.2% of the state remains abnormally dry. That's down here, right along the Colorado River. And that's it. There were some reductions in some small areas in Arizona, just on the other side of the border, but nothing changed here locally. And of course, we remain drought-free here on the Central Coast, and we'll stay that way at least into the winter months next year. And if it does not rain at all in the winter, like through December, we'll probably start to see the drought creep back in. But until then, looking pretty good. Our bigger picture showing stormy weather moving across the northern plains again today. More tornado reports from Nebraska to Oklahoma. Pretty wild day out there. High pressure off to the west and a trough digging in here. This is going to bring some cooler air into the region this weekend. And while we had some sunshine today, clouds will be on the increase tonight into tomorrow. Right now, we're looking at mostly clear skies. There's a few low clouds out there and some high clouds passing through as we took our live look from Domenico's. Right now, temperatures in the 50s around the bay, a few spots up in the hills in the 40s. So we're kind of cooling down a little bit out there, but as I mentioned, clouds will be on the increase late tonight. Can't even rule out a little drizzle by tomorrow morning, although I don't expect it to be necessarily widespread. I'll show you a model that disagrees with that in a moment, but for now, we'll just kind of focus on that. We take a look at your future track model for tomorrow. It has the low clouds overnight tonight, thickening by tomorrow morning. And by the time we wake up, I do expect mostly cloudy skies around the bay and a little bit of drizzle possible on the south and east sides of the bay. We'll also see some clouds penetrating into the inland valleys, but they won't be too extensive. But the problem is tomorrow is we're going to continue to see the moist air push in. So while there may be some gaps in the clouds tomorrow, we're going to expect more clouds than sun tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, once the clouds really start to thicken up, that's when I really think the drizzle is going to get going. South and east sides of the bay, maybe even on the north side of the bay to some extent. And that will continue overnight tomorrow night into Saturday morning, to the point where we're probably going to wake up with wet roadways in some areas on Saturday. Now, Saturday afternoon looks like we're going to clear out a little bit, get some sunshine, but temperature is going to be really interesting in the next couple days. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So future precip is showing some accumulating precip overnight. I don't think we're going to get to 0.04 in Salinas, but a few spots might get to 0.01 by tomorrow morning. It's again tomorrow night into Saturday morning where I'm seeing some higher totals. In fact, the model is showing almost 1/10 of an inch in places like Monterey and Salinas. Now, we might be a little bit below that, but we might also not be too far away from it. So definitely expecting some moisture in the form of drizzle, maybe even bordering on light rain rolling through into Saturday morning. Your Friday temperatures look like this with more clouds and that onshore flow. It's going to be harder to warm up tomorrow. We're going to stay in the 60s for Santa Cruz and Capitola and even cool into the 60s in the Santa Cruz Mountains after a few days in the 70s and even 80s. We were close to 80 up in Boulder Creek today. In fact, a few spots around town we're in the 80s. So we look over to the south and east shore of the bay. We're going to be back in the 50s in Castroville, low 60s Wattsville to Salinas, mid 60s Hollister, low 70s up into the Santa Clara Valley. On over to the Monterey Peninsula, expecting temperatures to be in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees, so somewhat cool again tomorrow. We'll have kind of a gusty west-northwesterly wind coming in off the bay, and of course some cool air and cloud cover to deal with tomorrow. And then down south away from the coast, also noting that cool down with 60s all the way through Greenfield in the Salinas Valley and lower 60s in Carmel Valley and Big Sur tomorrow. So pretty good cool down for most locations tomorrow. We'll warm up a little bit on Saturday as we mix the marine layer out a bit and probably just kind of hover there through the rest of the coastal, or I should say the rest of the holiday weekend, with highs just a little bit below normal. There is some warming expected next week as the ridge builds back in. But I'm not seeing any like offshore flow which would yield a big warm up on the coast. Typically, we need that offshore flow to really warm up on the coast. And sure, we can get to the point where the marine layer is so compressed that, you know, it's 58 in Pacific Grove, but up on the, you know, top of Huckleberry Hill there, you could get to 70 degrees. But we'll watch for something like that next week, but that still keeps the cold temperatures right along the beaches. Inland areas, tomorrow will be the coldest day of the next 7. We're going to warm straight up through Memorial Day, and then even more so beyond as we head into midweek next week. Veronica.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dan.